Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Happy Friday, man. It's Friday. Morning, guys. Welcome back. Margin, Ghost. What's up, guys? Dino, Closer, G Pilot, all the familiar faces. The Fade Doctor. Morning, guys. What's up, Chef? Melbourne, Australia. 11 p.m. Wow. Yeah, I didn't like the. I didn't mind it. The West Coast time zone for trading is interesting. A little bit tired, really hard to get up, but once you're up, you're okay with it. That's sort of how I feel, like how I felt. It was like, man, it is way too early to get up right now, but then once you're done for the day, you're like, oh, this feels great. So temporary pain for, I guess, a good feeling afterwards in the West Coast. All right, so welcome back. Happy Friday. Today, overnight fail, but into some major demand once again on the ESNQ, bouncing back up this morning and reclaiming some very key levels right now. So I'm actually in a long right now as we speak on NQ with some micros, just sort of really small. I think risking about $200 is where my hard stop's at. So really small position, but interesting reclaim of previous day lows on the Nasdaq right now. So I like that. That's a little reclaim ripper. So interesting position that's sort of setting up. We'll see if it can hold true. But yeah, interesting setups, interesting trade this morning. Gold also something that's going to be very heavily focused on for me moving forward. This thing has gone parabolic basically. So watching the gold, watching to see what happens today on ESNQ. A lot of equities stuck in channels, to be honest. Really not great equity action across the board. AMD might be the most interesting today. Palantir stuck in a channel. Tesla's been dead stuck in a channel. Nvidia's in a channel. CRWV's in a channel. Google's okay. AMD's been all right. But a lot of channel trading on the equities as the market is pretty much channel trading as well. The market has basically been sideways the last entire week with a lot of volatility, yes, right? A lot of intraday volatility, which is good. This is one of those channels that you can actually trade within pretty well because of how large the channel is and how much volatility there is. But overall, when you look at the market, it's pretty much been sideways. And so a lot of these equities are getting stuck in these very tight ranges. So today, Fast Money Friday, absolutely. Yesterday was a sick one and done. Well, actually, I took a loss on a futures contract and then took a nice options trade on MU. That was a one and done for my options for my Interactive Brokers account. A little break and retest of that 201 level. So today, I expect more of the same. One and done. I talked to the group yesterday. I'll briefly talk about it with you today. This is a hit it and quit it market, man. This market, you take what you get and you run because you do not know what the rest of the day you don't know what the rest of the day is, right? Yesterday, again, half of the morning upside, rest of the day straight down. So if I would have just held my position on MU, probably would have lost, right? So to me, this is one of the most hit it and quit it markets right now. There's too much headline risk. There's too much stuff going on to just be trusting an options contract. There's absolutely 0% chance I trade 0DT options today. That is with 0% chance. And so we take some next week's. We take a nice setup. We take it. We win. We get out. That's the market right now for me. There's no situation for me to be swing trading. There's too much headline risk. There's too much uncertainty. So scalp it, run. that's going to be my day. Yesterday, we took 30% on MU within like 10 minutes. We got the hell out. We never came back. And that's what I'm going to continue to do here. So it's Friday. It's Fast Money Friday. Let's make some fast money and let's get the hell out. I can't play Battlefield because it keeps crashing on me. So if anyone knows why, I mean, there's thousands of people it's happening to online, but I can't play it. So we'll see. That's probably going to be my day, trying to fix that. All right, let's jump in. Let's jump on in. Where's my charts? Where the hell are my charts? There they are. Here's my long right now. Looking pretty good. Up 225. Long at it's about 700. Looking pretty good right now. So we'll see. I like it. Why did I take this long? I will explain it to you in a moment. It's actually quite beautiful, to be honest. It's a perfect, again, right? I've been taking a few futures trades lately, and I'm getting all the questions. Is this the same thing we teach? Guys, it's the same thing, right? There's no difference. Why did I take this long on Nasdaq? It's the reclaim ripper. It's just a reclaim ripper, right? Whether I take calls or take futures longs, there's no difference between what's happening on the chart, right? This is a reclaim ripper. So where is that? We talk about this all the time. Fail under Thursday's lows, fail under Wednesday's lows. Look at this. Look at that. That's perfection. That is a reclaim ripper. Whether you take SPX calls, QQQ calls, or long the NQ, there's no difference to the concepts we teach, to the things we talk about, to the key levels that we create. It is all the same stuff. You can trade it with any product you please, right? So that is why, learning price action, learning true price action, and learning how that affects the market makes you so strong, right? You can do anything. You can sharpen all of your knives, sharpen your options trading knife, sharpen your futures trading, right? Sharpen whatever you want. But if you understand the levels and how price action reacts to that, you can trade anything you want. Because that's basically like, it's the engine. And you're just putting the engine in whatever car you want, right? What vehicle do you want that V12 650 horsepower Lamborghini V12, with the Gintani exhaust system spitting flames at the Saturday morning car show? What car do you want that engine in? Whatever you want. You can put that car in a PT Cruiser if you want. That would be, the PT Cruiser would be 0DTE SPX calls. Or you could put it in a nice, 488 Pista. Maybe some ES, right? Some nice clean 488 Pista ES action. So, yeah. That's it. Was that trade posted? I did talk about it in the futures trade this morning. Right here. 742. Taking an MNQ long. Sure did. Okay. Here we go. Let's jump in. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Aqua, what is it doing? Did it go up or down? Because I sold some yesterday. Oh, it's going up again. Oh, what a bounce off this low. Yeah, I sold half my Aqua yesterday. I think it's a good call. I think it's a great call. And I'm still invested, so upside is good for me. But I'm happy to take half off. I think that was a good call. But anyways, let's jump in, guys. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. We're enough with the analogies today. Here we go. So, Nasdaq futures. Where did it reject yesterday? By the way, we rejected right at the high of day that we talked about on this live stream. Go back to our live stream yesterday. Go see what we talked about as the high of day. It was 25,180 was the rejection point we talked about the entire live stream yesterday. We said watch out for the Thursday low to turn into a rejection point. Look at the high of day yesterday. It was exactly Thursday's lows. So that was perfection. That is the intraday move that we talked about yesterday, where everyone says, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Why are we going down again? I mean, yesterday is exactly what we talked about on this live stream. It's the morning upside into the Thursday low, market's tanking. Oh my God, why are we going down? But you guys, who should be prepared if you come to this live stream, would be able to say, well, that was just a failure of Thursday's lows. This makes a lot of sense. All right, so there you go, right there. Why did we go low yesterday? You failed this low. It's about as simple of an explanation as possible. Pop, fade into this low. Previous lows into new highs. Bam. That's it. That's why we went lower. There is no other explanation to it. There's no fancy ICT bullshit. It's the fact that this low failed. And you can make up whatever story you want, but this is exactly why selling pressure came into this market. Too much selling pressure at these previous lows, creating some downside under the daily 20. We failed more, and that's that. Where did we trade to? Back to the previous day lows. You went from these highs to the lows. You just traded within the channel. Again, lows, highs, lows, lows again. All right? That's it. So today, what are we doing today? All right? Well, we came down to this low at Tuesday's lows. Tuesday low, Tuesday low. Guess what? It's holding. Tuesday's lows in the daily 50 SMA starting to show up as a pretty decent demand down here. Interesting, right? Pretty interesting. So that's going to be something we definitely want to watch today. Now, what's happening in the pre-market as we speak? This is one of the most important things to be watching today, and that is right here. This right here, my friends, is Wednesday's low a day. So Wednesday low a day, right here. 24,663. What's this low? I'm sorry. I gotta move this. Where did I get this from? Hold on. Is this incorrect level? No. Okay, got it. Wednesday low day, 24,663. These lows from back here, look at this, guys. It's not just a previous day low. It's not just a previous little level here. Look at these down here. You have 24,663. I'm sorry, 633. You have 24,627, which is this one right there. So you just reclaimed those previous lows. And I believe as long as you hold above these lows, this would be an interesting upside trade, or at least just a channel trade for the day. All right. I'm not expecting some kind of major, squeeze to the upside, but I would expect that possibly some demand could step up at this level. This would be what you need to see to stay long today, or at least look for the market to stay sideways to up. If you fail back under these lows, then you get weak, very weak again, may I add. Very weak again. If you fail back under this low, if you see this reject and turn back into a rejection of previous day lows, then that is definitely your spot to be looking for downside action today. So I would be looking for downside only if we failed back under the previous day low and the Wednesday low. If we got that break and retest rejection, I would look for that downside today. Without that, I don't think you want to short into a PDL, right? I would have liked to see this short happen today on a little rejection of this low, but guess what? You got above it. So that sort of invalidated. So what I would look for today is either a pullback and long off these lows. That could be interesting for a scalp into the daily 20. That's probably just about all you're going to get. Or I would look for a break and retest back below. Those are really the only two trades to start this morning. I would see what happens in this zone. 24,663 to 24,627. Definitely an interesting zone to be watching. And then demand down here at 24.4. Target would really only be here. It'd be up to the daily 20, 24.9 to 24.975. That's about it. That's really about it. Okay. S&P 500. Look what we're doing. So S&P 500 turned our previous channel lows into new highs. You can see right here. Look at this. Bam, bam, bam. Previous channel lows that held the market up for multiple days in a few weeks back. Look what happened. Rejection, rejection. That's perfect. That's a structure shift. That's structure shifting. All right, so previous structure lows turning into structure highs. That's very clear. So that's a shift, and that's a shift to be paying attention to. Now, what we can see here, which is sort of interesting, we are reclaiming this rejection spot this morning. You bounced low, or you went lower into these previous highs right here. Look at that demand hold stepping up. That's very strong on the ES there. And now we can see on the 15-minute chart, we have reclaimed back above this Wednesday low. We have reclaimed back above even this Monday low at 66.51. I had it down to around this low from yesterday, which I think is smart to include here. You have the Wednesday low and the previous day low at 66.32. So I would say anywhere between Wednesday's lows and previous day lows, between 66.32 and 660 or 66.51, I would say anywhere between that Wednesday low and that yesterday low, inside this zone, I would expect demand to step up today. I would expect demand to step up today here. You also have the daily 50 right below. I would expect this area to try to hold tight today. If you fail back under yesterday's lows and back under the daily 50, there must be something really nasty going on. So if you get that, that is definitely going to be a short that I look for. Failure back under PDL, failure back under daily 50, that would be almost a for sure short for me back down to these lows. If you're failing back under this low and the daily 50 after reclaiming it like this, there is something very wrong, right? So a lot of selling must be coming in. That's what we got to look for on the intraday if that starts happening. That would be pretty nasty. That would be pretty nasty if that occurred. So keep an eye out for that. SPY, same thing. Look, it's the same exact thing, right? Look at this. It's yesterday's lows. It's Wednesday's lows. You can see right here. Yesterday's lows, Wednesday's lows, 657.11 was PDL. Here's your Wednesday low, yesterday low between 659, 657. You can see that zone is trying to hold right now. And also, I will say, the SPY is bouncing off of a pretty strong level. You can see right here, that daily 50 SMA, these previous lows. This is definitely a spot that keeps bouncing on the SPY. So, we'll see. We'll see. But right now, there is interest in whether this is a very strong reclaim rip on a little reclaim of PDL. Right, you can see this curling back higher, pretty much locking out the shorts below that level. Unless you fail under previous day lows, I do not think there's a reason to short this move. I really don't. I would say the only short that you would take today is a fail back under PDL. You don't really want to short the bottom of a range low. Right? I'm not saying that the market's going to rocket ship today, but if you stay above this low, you're basically going to lock yourself into this channel today. You're basically getting locked into a cage. Here's your jail cell, right? Jail cell of a channel. And can I make a straight line, please? Jeez. What is that? This is your jail cell of a channel right here, right? And you're just going to probably lock yourself back into this channel. You reclaim these lows, you're going to stay under these highs. Market's just going to hold channel lows, navigate towards channel highs maybe, and then maybe just sort of sit in the middle of the channel to close the week, right? So as long as you're over PDL, that's never a short for me. Never, ever, ever. And you guys know that. I don't ever recommend shorts if you're reclaiming a previous day low. That's a very important thing. That's trapping a lot of shorts, right? Think about everyone that's short overnight or in the pre-market now that are now trapped down here after reclaiming this low. Their thesis is totally thrown off. I guarantee you that everyone that's short under yesterday's lows did not have the thesis of holding it if it reclaims that level, right? No one said, oh yeah, if it reclaims it, that's still a good short. No. I would say majority of them said, hey, I want to see this stay under previous day low, and then I'll continue to be confident in my short entry, right? That's no longer happening. So a lot of invalidation going on as you reclaim these lows right here. See that? So look at this. QQQ. Wednesday's lows. Thursday's lows. Look what just happened on the Qs. Holding right above it. That's perfect, man. That is so clean. That's the reclaim ripper. Unless you can do, you take the Q calls or you take the NQ futures, right? No matter what you're trading, that is the same thesis. Same trade, same everything. You can trade this with longing the QQQ shares, right? It's the same exact thing. Upside, I would probably target this daily 20 SMA to be realistic. Middle of the channel, right? This is just an absolute channel of sideways action, right? There's nothing. It's the Chinese finger trap. You guys know that. Your lows, your highs, your realistic targets, probably 50% of the range, which is the daily 20. If you can get a little bit of an exuberant move, maybe you get back up to 606, 607s. As long as you're over Wednesday and Thursday's lows, you are going higher. Unless you get the old Trump tweet. That's the only thing that would invalidate. The old Trump tweet. Bam, straight back down. Dead, right? Hard stops getting hit. Bam, bam, bam. That's the only way. Technically, this should lock up. This should lock I believe, should lock the upside to happen. But, of course, you still need a good entry, right? This is the difference, right? Oh, Desi says this is a long, so I'm going to long it at 599 and give it 4 points of downside risk, right? No, that's just not good. I'm going to long the Nasdaq at 24.8 and give it 24.6. All right, I'm going to risk 200 points on NQ. No, you still need a good entry point, right? So that's the important part here. You still need a good entry point to allow this trade to play out and to not be giving it ridiculous amounts of risk. So, yeah, still important. Still need to be careful. Got to have good entry points on an idea regardless. So, let's continue. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel. Gold. Yeah, gold. I actually took some nice shorts on gold last night and also this morning, but I didn't realize that I missed out on even more downside here. Holy crap. Yeah, I just realized this. Where was I even short gold? I think I was short gold like... Let me see. Wow. This really went. Yeah, this was my short on gold this morning. 43.35 down to 43.24. I didn't realize it went that much more, but yeah, this thing's sort of ripping to the downside. And I think for good reason. This is absolutely parabolic, man. A little bit too much for my belief. I'm definitely going to be looking to see if there's a gold cool-off trade somewhere. Now, I'll tell you, I just sort of got a taste of GC futures. Man, oh man, is that degeneracy. So I would probably only be trading MGC because that shit is insanity. So to anyone that trades GC, you must have big pockets or some big cojones because that thing moves like an absolute monster. 42.91. If you break this overnight low on GC on gold, I would expect some more here. This could be a really nice trade, guys. I would be paying attention to this. There's got to be a pullback trade here somewhere. Now, the problem is, everyone said there's going to be a pullback trade at 4,000, right? Trust me. I was on multiple Zoom calls where we talked about this is ridiculous. It should go, this is insane. It's so high. And that was back at 3,900. So guess what? It's at 4,400 now. So, yeah, the market can stay irrelevant longer, or irrelevant. The market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent, right? That is very, very true. So, sure, do I think this is a ridiculous move on gold? And sure, does everyone think that this is a ridiculous move on gold and it's just parabolic? Yes. Can it go to 5,000 before it goes back to 3,500? Probably, right? So you got to be careful. You can't marry the bias that this is overextended. You can't. You marry that bias, you get absolutely smoked. There is an uptrend that I'm going to be watching today. You can see this very clear 30-minute uptrend. Very clear channel here. If that breaks and this low from the overnight session breaks, this could be a really nice short back towards like the 41.90 spot. I would be watching that. This would be huge money if you caught that right, but it would also be massive risk. So, best of luck on that one, my friends. All right, so let's go into the SMH. SMH, big bounce again, man. Big bounce again on the SMH right at 334. It is exactly at our demand level. We've had this exact demand level on our charts for about a week now. We said that this is the pullback along that I'd want to see. And you got to it again. You know, ideally, I still like that 327, but look at this hold again overnight. And look what else is catching up. The daily 20. So that's pretty interesting. That daily 20 is starting to catch up to SMH. However, you can see, guys, it's simply a channel. So I just, you know, this is one of those moments in the market, guys, where you gotta let you gotta let the market figure it out. Okay, you can't try to keep guessing what happens here. You gotta let the market show you what it needs to do. So for me, I would probably wait to trade semis until I can see this really strongly hold above or see the breakdown below. Right? Anything inside the channel, it's gonna be a little bit tough. So Tesla, absolutely zero interest. I hope I have saved someone out there money on Tesla recently. I really do. You have no business of trading Tesla inside of this range. This range on Tesla is taking thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars from clicky day traders that just keep clicking around inside this channel, man. This is not easy to trade. You know, I'm sure many of you are going to say, oh, I keep making money on Tesla. And that's great, man. I'm not saying you can't. I'm very happy for you. I'm not the type of person that says I don't hate on people making money. That's not who I am. That's not in my nature. But I can tell you from experience, and I just sort of talk to the masses here, you do not want to get exposed to when Tesla trades like this. Something is going to happen that's going to fake you out on the intraday, and it's going to cause problems, right? It's very easy. Once again, I talk about this every live stream, and I'll talk about it again. When Tesla has red in its eyes, and it's just clearly going up or down, and everyone just knows it, right? And Twitter's like, oh my God, I made $50,000 on Tesla, and everyone, it's just giving free plays, basically. That's when you just make your money. You just make your money during those times, and you go away, right? And then you wait for this to just be in this chop channel. It's not bad. It's a big channel. There's opportunity. I'm not saying there's not. That's not what I'm saying. But I can guarantee you that there's going to be a lot of difficult price action inside that area. So that's my recommendation. I stand by it, and I won't back off of it. NVIDIA, same thing. Here's your top of the channel. Here's your low. It's the exact same thing. Rejections, holds. Rejections, holds. Rejections. Well, breakdown there. Holds, holds, holds. Rejections, holds, holds, into rejections. You're stuck inside the channel. I won't be doing anything. 185, 174. I'll see you when we get outside of it. That's it. AMD is more interesting to me. This is a sick hold this morning. This is probably my top watch today on the option side. This is perfect. Previous highs into highs, or highs again, highs again. Look at this. Look at this, my friends. This is exactly what we talked about yesterday. If you came to the live stream yesterday, our thesis yesterday was look for AMD to pull back and give us a pullback long into that zone, right? Right here. Here was our thesis. Here's our levels that we provide on a daily basis, which is pretty much what we talk about here on the live stream, with a little bit more action in here as well. Awesome move yesterday after reclaiming 227.80, right? Look for pullbacks to that demand level for new entries. That's right here, right? This was our thesis. Look for pullbacks to this level for new entries. Well, let's look at what today is doing. It's right there. So, this is interesting, right? If something happens that we talked about the day before starts to occur, then it's only right for us to be interested in that move, okay? So our analysis was proven correct to look for pullbacks to these previous highs, to look for pullbacks to these highs here. And so now I'm going to be looking to see what happens in this area. I would probably want to see, you know, a long back in the zone for better risk reward, or I could just see if that facilitates the break and retest of these highs here. All right, those can be the two opportunities that I would look for. So yeah, that's going to be something I very closely watch. Sonya, appreciate that, guys. I'm going to take a second. We got 2,400 people here, 800 likes. I will pause. I will pause. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. All right. We got 1,000. AMD. That's going to be something I watch today, for sure. Let's go to MRVL. MRVL has been interesting as well. You can see right here, this is a pretty perfect pullback to that daily 20 SMA. Look at this. See these highs? See that right there? Previous high right there. Look at this. Look at this hold. Very clean structure right now on MRVL. Very clean. Previous highs, previous high, previous high. Look at these lows, guys. Look at all this. Lows, lows, daily 20. Caught up to price action. This, my friends, is called a time correction, right? We've talked about this. Time correction versus price correction. We've talked about these differences. Time correction is when the stock controls itself sideways as the SMA moves higher and then hits it, right? And once it hits it, you can see it gets a spark. A price correction, right, would have been if MRVL went down back into the daily 20 and then bounced off of it due to price correcting back to that moving average. Price did not correct on MRVL. Price went sideways. But what happened? Time, right? Ticking away as the SMA catches up. This is very interesting when this occurs. This is the strongest type of sort of pullback or correction. Say, hey, there's not enough sellers to move it lower, but we just need to chill out a little bit, right? Let's chill out a little bit. Let's consolidate a little bit. Let's wait for that moving average to catch up, and then let's get this party started again. So if the markets do find strength, which is a big if, right? The markets will need to find strength. If the Nasdaq finds strength, if the SMH finds strength, then this MRVL trade is massively interesting. A little bit of a flag action here. I would absolutely be seeing what happens here on MRVL. Broadcom, sort of interesting, but also sort of sloppy, to be quite honest. I don't really like in here anymore. 360 for me is all that I'm going to watch. It's got to get over that level. It failed again there yesterday. Just going to wait for 360. CRWV looked like it was going to squeeze again yesterday. What did it do? It failed again. You just have massive sellers at this supply high. I mean, basically just the entire float is just selling this high right now. So every time CRWV looks like it's going to squeeze, bam, dead, bam, dead. I mean, if this is any example of why you don't long into supply, look at CRWV and look at Circle. These two stocks just got smoked every push into supply. And now actually pretty much, ugly. Holy crap. Circle went right back down to the lows. I did not even realize that. Wow. I didn't realize how bad this got hit. I thought Circle was sort of going to, find its way again. But man, I mean, this period on Circle was unbelievable to watch. I hope you guys were watching this. If you guys were watching Circle during this time period here, I think you would have learned a lot about controlling yourself, controlling emotions, and watching key levels, right? Because Circle on a daily basis during this period, I remember vividly, provided that vibe that was going to just go straight up, right? That, oh yeah, here we go. This is the one, right? Bam, bam, right? This looks great. Circle's about to break out, right? Let me get some longs on Circle because this thing's going to squeeze. This happened on a daily basis. I remember feeling that way almost every day. And it never held above this supply on every attempt, which is just crazy, right? Just it shows you, it was like you know how like I mean, it just showed you the reason we wait for the break and retest, the reason we wait for it to actually break above, actually retest, and actually maintain above it, right? CRWV, same thing again yesterday. Same look. It looked like it was going to squeeze. Bam, right after our 150 supply. Rejected again. It might squeeze again today, right? Look, it's still holding the lows. Maybe it squeezes again. But I just don't think you have any business long in this until you get a clear hold above this high. If you do that, it's going to be very easy. If you actually maintain above that high, it's going to be very easy to get that opportunity. Are we going up? What are we looking like on the NQ? All right, we're holding up. All right. What other things do I actually see good opportunities on today? Because it's pretty few and far between. Is it few and far between or far and few between? I think it's far and few between. Is that it? Anyways, sorry about that. Microsoft. Oh, this is yesterday. What do we got here? SMCI looked all right. Apple, we'll look at Apple. There's some structure there. Okay, Apple, Aqua, Palantir. Apple, Aqua, Palantir, Hood, ASTS. I think that's a good lineup. Palantir, same channel. I got nothing for you, except I just want to show you once again how channel bound these stocks are. This, guys, I'm sorry, right? This is part of the reason I've sort of dabbled into some futures trading. I'm not going to trade Palantir in a sideways channel for an entire month. I'm not going to do it, right? I don't care how, needy or how, I gotta be strict on this. This is not when I make money trading my option strategy. It's not. I know this from my past. I've done it thousands of times. I've lost thousands, 5 figures of my own money just fucking around, really is the right word for it, and apologies for the language, in a sideways channel, right? I've done it so many times, and I refuse to do it again. There's got to be a point in your career where you say, that's it, right? I see the channel, and every time I trade in it, I lose. Something has to happen in your mind, in your brain chemistry that says, enough's enough. I'm not going to do this again, right? So am I even going to look to trade Palantir on a daily basis? No. There's nothing here for me, okay? I need 4-hour larger term break and retests. I need a break and retest long. I need a fail, retest, rejection, right? That's what I need. If I don't get it, I can't trade it, and I gotta live and die by that, or I'm just throwing things and hoping they stick. So nothing on Palantir, and that's a lot of the same thing, right? Tesla's the same thing. Nvidia's the same thing. What was the other one? CRWV, same thing, right? Look at this channel. It's all the same right now. There's a lot of stocks that are doing this. Because why? Because the Nasdaq is doing the same thing, right? So I know this is not ideal action for a break and retest option strategy. And if you know your strategy, you know what are the pros and what are the kryptonites, right? The kryptonite for the way that I trade, right, is no continuation. I know that I need trend. I need upside continuation or downside continuation. That's what I need to make money with my strategy. Every strategy, that doesn't mean it's a bad strategy. It just means you need to know what's good and what's not good for what you're trading. Options need continuation. They are not good in sideways channels. That is a very, very key thing. And this is not like, I'm going to get all the future boys in the chat saying, this is why options suck. Options are terrible. Why you trade options? Well, no, that's just, futures have cons well, right? Options, that's the con of options, but that's understandable. All you have to do is control yourself. If you can control yourself when the market's sideways, then you don't have to trade options. Or you could sell the options, right? But you know not to take long options, long calls, long puts in that environment. Those who can control themselves during that period probably end up on top. Those that just keep trying to slam things inside of a channel without continuation, with a lot of volatility, probably end up losing. So, that's just sort of me adjusting to what I'm seeing here. There's plenty of volatility on the futures contracts. You can trade macros, right? Micros right now. and do pretty well. So I'm just sort of slowing it down, being careful on this channel, trading from some micros, even some minis as well, and then just wait till we get continuation again on this market. That's my game plan. Once I can see this market find its direction, we're right back into, you know, into that juice that we're going to be juicing once again. So sorry for the tangent, but I hope that helps, right? You got to know what your pros and cons of your strategy are. And that doesn't mean it's a bad strategy. I don't care what anyone says. Don't care what anyone online has to say. Don't look up online what other Timmies and Jimmies have to say about the strategy you trade. If it works for you, then just know the pros, know the cons, understand the kryptonite of the strategy, understand the ideal situation, and try your best to stay away from the non-ideal situations. That's it. That's it. And don't care what the Timmies, Jimmies, the, you know, don't let people talk down on something that's working for you. That's what's great about trading, right? Trading, if you figure out a system that works for you, if you're nice and comfortable in what you're doing, just keep running it, man. That's it. Anyways, I got enough. That's enough of me talking today. I'm a little bit, I don't know why I'm talking so much today. I'm excited. I'm happy. I feel good. The vacation to Vegas refreshed the mind, creative thoughts. So it's always good to get away. It's always good to get away. Hood, 134, 135, daily 20 SMA. Watch that bounce and fade. That's something to be careful of. That's it, guys. That's it for me. I would say there's only one trade that really interests me today. The one trade that interests me today, and there's only one, to be quite honest, is a pullback long right here today on the Nasdaq futures. If we could pull back here today and see a sharp reaction back to the upside, take a Qs long or take this futures long here, that would be my trade, man. That's it. That would be my one and done. MU is a sick break and retest of our exact 201 level yesterday. Right here. This was it. See this? See this 201 right here? That was the exact 4-hour high, my friends. Right here. See this 4-hour high? This is what I'm talking about when I say I need break and retest of major levels, right? I don't want to take break and retests of tight channels inside of there, right? That's not reliable. What's reliable is big channel levels, break and holds above major thick channels, right? So look at this. Huge channel high. 4-hour high, big ass level right there, 201. Look at 201 yesterday. Look at 201 yesterday. Right there. Exactly 201. Bam. This was a 40, 50. This went up to 70% on the long side yesterday on MU. This was the only options trade I took yesterday. All right? So give me those big level breaks. Not no intraday, inside day type of levels. I want big levels that were clear highs, clear lows, right? Very important to wait for those key spots. Okay? All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the live stream. If you want to trade live with me on a daily basis, if you want to come hang out with the insiders community, we got the futures, we got the options going, we got a lot of great people in there, a lot of focused individuals. You can go ahead and check out the link down below. If not, that's fine. Come hang out in the live streams on a daily basis every day, Monday through Friday. We're on YouTube. We're on X now. What else? Gonna be running some Battlefield this weekend as long as my game doesn't crash every damn game. I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on with that. Car shows this weekend. Excited for that. So a lot of things to look forward to. Let's have a great weekend. And I will see you guys next week. Oh, the giveaway. Desi, what about the giveaway? Hold on. Let's do it. What's the type form? I keep forgetting about the giveaway. All right. I am going to only do it for the people that showed up. Should I do it just for today? Because we can't really count the other days, I feel like. And a lot of you, I think, probably filled out. I don't know. Maybe not. Let's see if anyone filled out submissions on those days. Did anyone fill out a submission on the 15th when I was not here? No. Okay. All right. People didn't. So we're good. We'll just take the whole week. All right. Responses. Let's go here to here. Good. Alrighty. So we're going to pick one person today. We're going one. Here we go. Doxing a lot of people's emails. Apologies for that. Don't enter the giveaway if you don't want someone to see your email. I need to take away duplicates. Wonder if I can do that. Filter. Actually, no, I can't take away duplicates because it's multiple days. Okay, never mind. All right, I'm going to scroll it on down. Oh, that's it, huh? Yeah, we got pretty light list. Got a pretty light list this week. All right, looks like you got a, better chance this week. I'm going to close my eyes. 3, 2, 1, bam. Chris Neal. That's right. Yeah, I didn't take the duplicates out. Duplicates were for people that obviously came multiple days. So no, I didn't do that. Chris Neal. Congratulations, Chris. I'm going to send you a link for some Insiders merch. Congratulations, Chris Neal. I'm actually going to send that right now so I don't forget. Bam. Copy. Let's go to Gmail. All right, guys. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. And I will see you next week. Peace and love. Congratulations, Chris Neal. See you.